here's the thing, I think this is such an important point. There was a headline on Huffington Post today. It wasn't actually the title of the article, but it was the headline that they put on their homepage that said, "Don't take the bait." And it was a picture of Obama, President Obama from last night. It was a brilliant speech that he gave last night. And that was the essence of it. Don't take the bait. You've got a small group. I mean, it started out as a very small group, right? Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda started out as just a couple thousand crazies with Osama bin Laden and millions of dollars that we had given them to drive the Soviets out of Afghanistan. And they decided that they wanted to take over Islam. Now, let's not forget, by the way, that the seeds of all this are an ideology, Wahhabism, that has been promoted by our ally Saudi Arabia for well over 100 years. So that Saudi Arabian thought cancer metastasized to Afghanistan. We used it to throw out the Soviets and arguably end the Soviet Empire. You know, whether that did it or not, I mean, that's a matter for historians to debate. But anyhow, we used it to throw the Soviets out of Afghanistan via Osama bin Laden, our guy. And then he pulled together, like, he had 5,000 people in Afghanistan on 9/11 around that time. There had been a total of maybe 20,000 people who had gone through his terror training camps. And maybe, best estimates, maybe half of them really bought the whole thing. So they started out as just a couple thousand, 10,000, 20,000 at the most. Crazy right-wing religious whack jobs within Islam in Afghanistan. And bin Laden wanted to become like the guy the whole world would think of as the spokesman for Islam. I am the real Muslim, said Osama bin Laden. And so he whacked us on 9/11. And George W. Bush, who in his rhetoric constantly was saying, no, Islam is a religion of peace. This is, what Osama bin Laden did does not represent the Islamic community or any rational Muslims in the world. But by bombing Afghanistan, George W. Bush did exactly what Osama bin Laden was asking him to do. In fact, in 1998, Osama bin Laden had predicted it. And he had predicted it several times. His famous, all I have to do is put two mujahideen with a black flag at the farthest corner of the earth, and America will spend trillions of dollars, billions of dollars, I think was his phrase, chasing them down and squandering its treasure and blood. And, bin Laden pointed out, enriching its corporations. And I think that's why this has become so partisan. With all the Republicans calling for more and more military action, over 60% of Republicans right now think we should have boots on the ground in the Middle East. Fewer than 40% of Democrats, like 36% of Democrats. We tried that. We tried that in Afghanistan. We tried it in Iraq. How'd that work out? Occupying a country that is filled with people of another religion and with a very, very different history does not work. Ask the Brits. Well, actually, it wasn't even a different religion. That was just, occupying a land. Although they were also occupying large swaths of the Middle East and Africa during their colonial era. It didn't work. But it's what they want. They want us to try. The leaders of ISIL want nothing more. I mean, I was hoping that Obama would say it in like Fox News bumper sticker language, which he didn't do. I mean, he always, he speaks well. He speaks at the high school level. If you want to talk to Republicans who watch Fox News, you have to do what Fox News does. Speak at the fourth or fifth grade level. Or maybe second or third grade level, fourth or fifth grade level. Because they are desperate for us to go over there. They're like, please, come on, take down the local government, take down these secular dictators. I would say in retrospect, it was a terrible mistake for us to take out Gaddafi in Libya. We came, we saw, he died, said Secretary Clinton when she was Secretary of State about taking out Gaddafi. Yeah, that didn't work out so well. And so now you've got ISIL in Libya. Who was keeping them out? Gaddafi. And in fact, Gaddafi had been complaining to the world about al-Qaeda trying to infiltrate Libya. So here we have virtually the entire Republican Party and all these so-called conservatives and so-called Christians saying, yeah, we need to send American troops over there. Okay, cool. Let's have a draft that's exclusively for Republicans. Or let's just bring back the draft and say no exclusions for the children of members of Congress or any state legislature. And no more Champaign unit with the Texas Air National Guard. Sorry, George W. Bush. Because this is what they want. They want us to try to occupy their land. They want us to take out the secular, Saddam Hussein was a secular dictator. He protected Sunnis. He protected Shiites. He protected Jews. He protected the Druze. He protected the Christians. You had all of these, he protected what was that, that group that was up on the mountaintop that ISIL went and just snatched them all and herded the women off into rape camps. I mean, the secular dictators in the Middle East, I never thought I'd be saying this, but the secular dictators in the Middle East were actually maintaining some semblance of stability. And in our stupidity, George W. Bush and Dick Cheney and their buddies, in their stupidity, we went in and we kicked out these people who were keeping the region relatively calm and were keeping out the fanatics who were being fueled by propaganda coming out of Saudi Arabia. Keeping them out. Now they're in. Are we supposed to go there? This is crazy. This is nuts. To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.